Hello and welcome to Funky Fox Gaming. I'm back doing some police work slash getting people killed. Um, Last episode didn't go too well. Failed quite a few missions, lost about 4 officers I think. However, I did take down a gang, the Red Mask gang. So something good did come up eventually. I also met Robespierre, who is kind of like a Joker in Dark Knight kind of character by the looks of it, although not quite as crazy. And I'm mostly liked, apart from a little bit of City Hall thumbs downness. Let's see how I do this episode. I've literally just hired you. Oh yeah, I also hired someone called Odin Beard, because you can't not hire someone called Odin Beard with a massive beard. So I've got a detective slot available to me. Let's hire them for shift B. Oh, they're all a bit eh. Jack, we hear your employees got on camera and said all sorts of rubbish to discredit you and the Freiburg police. We had to put pressure on the TV studio to close down the show. From now on, keep your chat little monkey over there in check. And as for Percy and Hatton, I want them gone by tomorrow. But I can't fire them. As Freiburg police failed to detect the appearance of the famous serial killer in the city, it's become clear that your detectives simply are not up to the challenge. You have 7 days to fully update your detective roster, find some smart young faces, and those other assholes working for you, keep them as far away from the police station as possible. Wow. Can I? Oh, I need 2 people. Oh, you've discovered evidence hidden by the dentist. Oh, so I've got a hostage situation which wants a lot of people, but I don't have SWAT. An armed man wearing what looks like an explosive vest is standing next to an attraction at the ice arena, demanding that the dangerous stuff be dismantled and removed right away. Park visitors and the children are trapped on the Ferris wheel. and the offender is refusing to let them leave. Let's send 4 a paddy wagon.
Seven 712 in progress.
Oh good, I was worried about that one.
We've got a situation here.
Oh. A man with a gun in his hand, smoking on the porch of an abandoned house. Shoot him, go around the house to the back door, arrest the man and go inside. Go back door. The music inside the house is pumping loudly. 3 armed men are sitting at a table playing cards, and in the corner is a frightened woman with a child. So rush the men, pull the cord on the music men and order the men to give up their weapons. Rush over to help the woman and child. Surely you gotta take care of the threat.
712
Oh,
complete.
balls. Oh. I might have enough stuff now. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm still missing frames. Because with what I've got up here, I do not have enough. That makes sense, because I know that's not right. That's not right because it's the wrong coat. That's not right, that's not right. That's not right. Do you know what? Because there's a bottle thing there, I think I'm missing him picking up the 6-pack. So I think it'll be maybe that. And then him putting the 6-pack of cans down.
We've got a situation here.
Oh. There's people shining flashlights inside the room, and the voices of the perpetrators are raised. Draw weapons and secure the room. This is the police, come out with your hands up. Wait until the criminals exit on their own. Let's do that. The criminals are confused. One has a knife and the rest just have flashlights. There's a body on the floor covered in stab wounds. Take aim at the armed criminal. We have you surrounded, drop everything and reach for the sky. Shoot the man holding the knife.
4 testing complete.
Boyd here, and I hope you have a hell of a good reason for calling me in the middle of the night.
I'm sorry, Mr. Boyd. I'll call you back later.
No, wait, you're the girl from the prosecutor's office. Lana, right?
Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm so embarrassed, Mr. Boyd. The first thing Mrs. Broom told me about you is that you almost never sleep. I don't sleep too much either, so I thought I'd call you and apologize for last time.
But it wasn't the last time, was it?
Well, I've been going over our conversation in my mind, and I realized how stupid I sounded. You're the chief of police, and there's a strange girl calling you, saying she'll be the next city prosecutor, just to share the news, I guess. I must have sounded crazy.
Not so crazy as you imagine, Lana. When I learned I was going to be police chief, my parents were already dead, and my only friend was working 1,000 miles away from Freeburg. Wife and kids were relaxing on a distant island in the middle of the ocean. Took me 6 hours to get a hold of them. But I had to share the news with someone, or I would have gone mad. All the more because I was surrounded by 6 cops who figured they were ahead of me for the job. I figured you were feeling about the same.
It's like you're reading my mind. Now I'm like an outcast here. Most of them still think that Mrs. Broom was joking or trying to show her deputies that she's in charge of appointing her successor. But I know it's no joke.
For some reason, I didn't doubt it, Lana.
That's probably why I'm calling you. I know it's selfish. I'm sure your wife isn't too keen on girls calling you at night.
My wife and I, well, we're not living together. Maybe I'm the loneliest man in town, and that's why you called, to talk to someone even lonelier than you, huh? Lana?
Awkward.
You know, Mr. Boyd, maybe I'm an idiot, but until this moment, I didn't realize how lonely I am.
Well, you're in
Oops.
luck, because now you can call me anytime. But if you do, you'll have to call me Jack.
Jack? It'll take more than one phone call to get used to that.
Well, we're not in a hurry, are we?
True.
Oh, Jack, you flirt. "25-year-old Pamela Cox, a stripper from the club Twister, was brutally murdered in her home." Jack, one of our kids climbed onto the roof and he's talking about suicide. We need you to calm him down, and at the same time, keep a lid on the situation. Hey, let's go for Odin Beard.
Officer on scene. Looks like we have a situation here.
A teenager fitting the description of the offender is playing alone at an arcade console. To confirm with the manager it's the right suspect, arrest the kid in front of everyone, watch him until his friends return.
910 complete.
That one was pretty obvious compared to the last one that I had.
A in progress.
Wait for him to come back first. No, do it. They'll probably ask for backup.
910 complete. A complete.
I was wrong. Since I come back to the coma, there seems to be a lot more false alarms. Can't just ignore them though, because if you do, then they're probably... The suspect got away.
1111.
Let's have a look at this one, see if I can solve this case and then get people on to the murder one. So the nurse said I was about to go home when the building suddenly lost power and it got really quiet. Then I heard muffled noise like a little clap from just down the street. The building had about 10 employees. I didn't notice the smoke at first, and when I saw the fire I began to yell, but it was too late. Some people just didn't make it out. Oh, that's a lot. So the doctor said at the time of the tragedy I should have already been home. I was just leaving and I ran into Ronald Sherman on the street. He's the ex-husband of one of our patients who decided not to have her child after she consulted with the Freeburg Birth Control Union. After that, Mr. Sherman openly quarrelled with his wife. I understand he beat her and later they divorced. Since then, he's come to our offices several times, and on the evening of the fire, He was standing across the road, wearing a large backpack. He made a point of walking past me, and he muttered something in the spirit of burning hell, bitch. I thought how close I already was to hell, if people could wear such ugly red sweaters. And the fire inspector says the fire was started with a small plastic canister filled with accelerant, which was thrown from the street through an open window. When the fire began, the building was already without power, which interfered with the usual evacuation plan. Damage to the external cables show that they were not cut, but simply pulled from the wall by force. So, thinking that. Ah. Mind you, saying that, if they're not found any new frames, I can take them off. Jack, what kind of circus are you running over there? Tampering with evidence? Seems your men aren't so loyal after all. Just be glad we don't want to see any more hype in the papers about that dentist of yours. We convinced the prosecutor not to investigate your little sideshow, but we did ask the feds to look into you. They'll be going over your correspondence with a fine-tooth comb. Oh, balls.
Boyd.
Well, finally, Jack. I've been dying to reach you these past 2 weeks, but I thought I should give you some time to recover your strength. How are you feeling?
Better than ever, Mr. Sand. Touched by your concern.
Well, I hope this doesn't sound too sentimental, Jack. But while you were laying in a coma, I thought about our last meeting many times. It was such a fascinating conversation. You said it yourself. You're a true hunter.
No, Mr. Sand, it was you who said that.
Was it? Well, it doesn't matter. What is important, Kendrick told me a lot about you, Jack. But I suddenly realized that he didn't give me the whole story. Why is it you only want half?
What are you talking about?
Well, why is it you only want to make half? Not a whole million, just half. Not 100,000, but 5. It's a very specific figure. How did you arrive at that number?
Well, I was looking at a house a couple hours outside of Freeburg, down the river. I figured to buy it, move the family, and set everything up, I'd need right around 500,000. It's not my style to take more than I need.
Ah. I must admit, Jack, I imagined all sorts of reasons, but none of them were close to the truth.
Are you disappointed, Mr. Sand?
No, not with you, Jack. Quite the contrary. I respect you even more.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Sand. And now if you'll excuse me, I have to go home and get some sleep.
Of course, Jack. I just...
Wow, rude. Rumour Mayor's favourite stripper found dead in his home. A giraffe is coming to the zoo. I like giraffes. Ooh, everybody likes me. Although City Hall are going to not like me soon because I'm not getting rid of those 2 cops. Oh. Good morning. Mr. Boyd, what's the reason you called this press conference today? It's an important announcement. It's my duty to warn people of Freeburg that there's a new predator wandering our streets, one who preys on young girls. Our sources tell us that 2 murders have already happened in the city, and a maniac nicknamed the Dentist is the killer. Why have you been so slow to warn the public? I can't comment on ongoing investigation. The Dentist is only one man. Can't the Freeburg Police Department handle one crazy loner? Nonsense. We're willing to work around the clock to catch this bastard. Do you believe it's specifically girls who are in danger? Yes. The Dentist kills only young, attractive women. Do you have any information about the identity of this killer? Hard to say. Dentist could be anyone. Over the years, the feds have had a dozen different theories, but no real clues. Oh, Jack Boyd, feds don't have a clue. That's not what I said.
Oh yeah, the work is definitely piling on. Truth is, if I didn't have Palmer helping me catch this psycho, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah.
You know, when he got here,
And the stuff the newspapers are saying, is it true?
What are the newspapers saying?
The girl who was killed. She filed a sexual harassment complaint against the mayor? What about the other victims? Were they harassed by the mayor too?
Well, it's hard to say.
Is it true?
So far, the mayor's the only thing we have connecting the victims, but only one of them filed a complaint against him, and she withdrew it a few days later. Someone must have pressured her, but it's hard to say anything for sure.
But is it true? Do you think it's true?
Well, let's just say it seems like it might be. What's the matter?
The mayor raped me.
Whoa.
Can you repeat that?
The mayor of Freeburg, Stuart Rogers, he raped me. You heard me right.
When did this happen?
4.5 years ago when I was just out of college. They gave a reception for us at City Hall. Rogers gave a speech, and there were a few other speakers, then dinner. I drank the champagne, it was hot out, the music was loud. I was feeling dizzy, so I went to take a breath in a quiet corner. I found a conference room, then a few minutes later the mayor came in with his guard. Rogers whispered something to the guard, and the guard left. I didn't have time to figure out what was going on. Rogers just walked up to me, grabbed me by the throat and squeezed, and then he began to rape me. This went on. It lasted about 10 minutes.
Look, Lana, it would be very difficult to prove anything at this point, but
You wouldn't have to prove anything. I have a videotape.
A video?
A recording from a surveillance camera, a cassette. The raping mayor, sitting in my closet next to Kramer versus Kramer.
But how...
6 months after it happened, someone slipped the cassette under my door. This was the same time the city administrator, Mary Simmons, was dismissed. Quite a scandal, if you recall. I think that must have to do with it.
Lana, don't worry about a thing. We'll use this tape and ambush the bastard.
No, we're not going to do that.
Lana, listen to me. You need to...
It's been 4 years. Don't you think I've had time to think things through? I already decided I'm not pressing charges.
Lana, whatever you've been thinking, I promise you, it would be better if
No, it wouldn't be better. For the past few years, I've worked hard so that people would take me seriously, so they'd respect me as a professional. If I step forward now, I ruin all my efforts, my whole future, and I'll destroy my one chance to make this city better. I'll be a sympathy case, I'll be humiliated, and then I'll be attacked. And the one thing I won't ever get again is respect.
Lana, you're talking about covering up a crime.
I'm doing it because I know it's the right thing to do.
Then you're a fool.
Oh my God, I made a mistake. Just forget everything I said.
Lana, Lana! Shit. Shit!
I mean, I know it's a hard thing to get through, but I've got to side with Jack on this one. Jack Boyd. There's a real war against the scumbags happening on the streets today, and it's a war we're slowly losing. I decided to open my own gun shop to help law-abiding citizens protect themselves from drug dealers and paedophiles. Oh, Christ. Today will be our grand opening, and I sure could use a couple of brave officers who could lure in customers by handing out flyers at the mall. And I won't stay in your debt. I'll give your boys some toys that will surely be useful on the job. No.
610 in progress. 610 complete.
Oh my god. First 3 calls were false alarms.
1210, 910 complete.
First 4 calls were false alarms. Four in a row, and that was probably the only actual call that I needed to attend.
Officer on scene. Looks like we have a situation.
Oh, really? Public indecency at the cemetery. There are indeed naked young people lying among the tombstones. Cough loudly. The young man jumps up quickly and shouts police and turns tail. Hit him with the stun gun, arrest the woman and run after the man with the stun gun.
214 complete.
Zap him in his keister.
Yeah, understood. Thank you very much, Walt. Sorry again for waking you up. Give my regards to Jean. Okay, gotta run. Hey, Martin, wait a minute. Martin, you still hang around with Bo Berenger?
Of course. In fact, he's my stepfather.
Great. Think he has a couple of men available? Today? Right now, in fact? There's something important I need taken care of.
Sure. Something you need help moving?
Not exactly. Here's the address. I need this house watched. All day and all night until I say stop. If anyone suspicious goes poking around, tie him up and bring him here. I'll pay double the usual rate. Or triple, whatever he needs. And nobody else knows about this, right?
Jack, They're more into looking after valuables, not houses.
What's the difference?
Oh, these guys probably wouldn't care either way. Okay, Jack, no problem. I'll make the call. As for your retirement, I've been...
Let's focus on today, Martin. Now keep that house secure, all right?
Okay. I have a phone in the car. I'll call Bo right away.
I appreciate it, Martin. Believe me, I do.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
Anything else I need to know about this?
No. Better you don't.
That's got me curious as well now.
Hello?
I'm an addict.
Please, I don't want...
Listen to me, Lana. I really am an addict. For 20 years now, give or take. I've been lying to myself that I'm in control of the situation, and sometimes it really seems like I am, but sometimes in the more desperate moments, I become completely dependent on the pills. And it's just dumb luck that I haven't killed myself. Or someone else. More than a few times, I've come pretty close. I've been stoned while I'm driving, was even stoned once during a firefight. I've been on drugs while I made decisions where dozens of lives were on the line. When I'm overworked, I need the pills. That's my problem. It's my weakness. But I always knew that if I admit my weakness, if I start talking about the problem publicly, if I go to rehab, then I'm already as good as retired. They'll take advantage of the scandal and get rid of me forever. It doesn't matter all the good work I'm trying to do at the police department. They'll just bury me. So I'm keeping my problem a secret, at least until I can retire. I have to. I know it's the right thing to do.
You realize, Jack, this is the first time you ever called me?
What?
You called me this time. I thought you were just waiting for me to stop bugging you, but now you called me and you opened up, even though you didn't have to. Maybe you're stoned?
What? No, I'm not stoned right now.
Well, Jack, I guess you need me as much as I need you.
I need you more than you need me.
Now I know you're stoned.
Lana, You
I heard everything you said, Jack. I understood everything just fine. You don't need to say anything else.
Right, exactly. Say no more.
Oh, he does have a heart. Police overwhelmed by avalanche of false dentist leads. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. Police station desk sergeant. The dentist spreading panic among citizens. I wonder if the things at the bottom actually mean anything. God. Coming tomorrow though. Who can I give this to? Moser. Ah. Increase efficiency by 50%. Work 2 times a day. Have that. "33-year-old Judith Pierce, former secretary of the mayor, was found brutally murdered in a motel room."
Complete.
We prepared a profile on the suspect. The information we have gathered will help you identify his weak points and use them during the interrogation. When asking questions, be careful. If you screw up too many times, the suspect will likely refuse to cooperate, and then will either have to give up or resort to extreme measures. So he's an 18-year-old male. Subject suffers from phonophobia. Once hospitalized for electrical burns, and since then he avoids electricity. Efforts by a psychologist to help him deal with his childhood traumas have proven unsuccessful. As a child, Bruno Savini was a competitive swimmer and placed in dozens of competitions. He gave up the sport after an unpleasant experience. After he finished swimming lessons one evening, some girls locked him inside his locker and left him alone there all night. Since then, he has repeatedly appealed to psychologists to help him with his fear of dark and closed spaces. He was also regularly exposed to violence at home. After the death of his parents in an automobile accident, Bruno Savini dedicated himself to his studies and graduated high school with honours. He received a scholarship of a prestigious college where he was counted one of the 3 best students. He also took several side jobs when he was in school. On one of those jobs at Atala Funeral Home, he met Dante Gambino. They have since grown close. Mr. Gambino has assisted Savini in the past, bailing him out when Savini gets into minor jams. He even listed Savini's emergency contact. So, he's got fear of electricity, doesn't like dark spaces, got beat at home. Dante Gambino. Who do you deliver drugs for? I work for myself, pig. Okay, we already know you're in with Dante Gambino. He'll work for you, or is it the other way around? How about you simplify our life and help us out a little bit? Your mother isn't happy, well, she's dead. Listen, you're young and clever. You help us and we'll help you. We'll put in a good word for you. You might even go to college after all. So those 2 are false leads because he's already got through and his parents are dead. So let's go for the top one. That's the first time I'm hearing that name. You are lying. Dante Gambino adopted you after the death of your parents. He's your new daddy. I don't think he is. No, he's not. You're lying. Dante Gambino repeatedly bailed you out of here. So yeah, that is true. This envelope contains photos of surveillance cameras showing you buying drugs from Dante Gambino. That one. Okay, fine, I'll tell you what you want. Okay, I'll tell you everything. It was Dante Gambino. I got the drugs from him. I just did what he asked. Another false alarm.
In progress. Officer on scene. Looks like we have a situation here.
In the centre of the temple are 2 wounded monks, and there's a wounded old man moaning in the corner. He's dropped his gun. Near the monks, there's a trail of blood stains leading out to the left. Check the first on the left. Inside the room is a small, scruffy-looking man muttering something about God. He is wounded, and next to him is a spent gun. Slowly step forward and move the gun away from the criminal. Order him to move the gun to the side. No. Search the other rooms in the temple. That one.
410 be complete.
There's some rowdy drunken brats at our restaurant. Let the police teach them some manners. Go on, McStone.
B in progress. Officer on scene. Looks like we have a situation here.
The gangs have already started shooting at each other and haven't even noticed the police presence. Some are behaving like madmen and firing in all directions. Shoot at the guy with the automatic who is popping off towards the police position. Fire a couple of warning shots in the air, they won't hear that. Get on the loudspeaker and order them to cease fire. A wounded bandit is running towards the police position. With one hand he's gripping his wounded leg, that's clearly not his leg, and with the other he's holding up a gun, which he points at everyone one by one. The guy is obviously in a panic, his pupils dilated, and he's shouting something in an incomprehensible language. Shoot him.
1111B.
Waving a gun about, it could fire at any point. Take him down.
910B in progress.
Aha! Oh. Jumped on his bike and left. Maybe it's the motorbike? Ha! Oh, she's not even there. Oh, I don't have enough frames yet. Let's get someone else on that. Oh, damn it. So I was going to end that on a high note. Former Secretary of Mayor Rogers found brutally murdered. Oh, it's Judith Pierce. Okay guys, I think I'm going to leave that one there for today. Went slightly better than the previous episode. Managed to solve some investigations. Have a couple of new ones underway. Not sure what's happening with the dentist thing. I'm assuming I'm off the case now. I'm just handing everything to the feds. But we'll see how that pans out. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.